Welcome back to my channel, and for today's video, I am going to share with you the very exciting news I received today. Finally, after 9 years here in Canada, I am going to take my oath for citizenship. Before anything else, I would like to apologize to my Filipino subscribers because I'm going to speak in English. This story is not only for Filipinos but also for other nationalities as well. So why it took me 9 years to get my citizenship? In Canada, after 3 years of being a permanent resident, apply for citizenship. But to me, it is a long journey. I was very emotional when I received the email earlier because I have been waiting for this point where I almost lost hope in getting my citizenship because it's been 9 years. And it's not because I'm delaying my application, it's because of the problems I encountered during the process. So for those of you who don't know my story, I came to Canada as a live-in caregiver back in August 2010. As a live-in caregiver, you can apply for permanent residency after 2 years of working. But to me, it didn't happen right away. First problem I had was when I was holding a temporary resident visa. When you apply for Canadian visa, the visa officer will give you the expiration date of your visa based on your passport. My visa was given to me 2010 and my passport was expiring 2011. So the visa stamp on my passport was only until 2011. So when I arrived here in Canada, I had to apply for a new passport. And after applying for a new passport, I had to apply for a new visa. That was also the time when the Immigration of Canada was starting the online application. I wasn't techie back then. So when I upload some documents, I forgot one document. When Canadian Immigration received my application, they were not satisfied. Here in Canada, it's either you are approved or denied. So my application was rejected. I arrived in Canada in August 2010. Expiration of my work permit and visa were in September 2011. And because my application was not approved, I had no status in Canada. If you have no status, you cannot work. I was given by Canadian Immigration 90 days to fix it. And if I can't fix it, I have to go back home. Luckily for me, my employer wrote a letter to the immigration that I became part of their family, that they really needed me and they didn't want anybody to take care of their kids but myself. So the immigration was satisfied to that application. Just so you know, if you lose your status, you have to pay all over again plus the restoration fee. At that time, I think the restoration fee was $350 and the application fee was $100 or $150. So overall, we paid $500 for my application to be restored. So I lost my status in September 2011. I got the restoration status in January 2012. So for me to apply for permanent residency, I couldn't count the times I lost my status. So from September 2011 to January 2012, I couldn't count that towards my permanent residency application because my boss brought me to Mexico a couple of times, so I lost that time when I was there. One for a week and the second one for 2 weeks. Deduct that 3 weeks that I was gone from Canada. It's not too bad. But the reason why my application for permanent residency was delayed when I was waiting for my police clearance. I was in Morocco before coming to Canada. I was there for 4 years. For me to apply for permanent resident status, I have to get police clearance or police certificates from the country where I stayed for more than 6 months. I had to get police clearance from the Philippines where I was born. I had to get police clearance from Morocco because I worked there for almost 4 years. And I had to get police clearance here in Canada. I had a hard time getting a police clearance in Morocco. It took me 3 months. And when I received it, the year of birth in my police clearance was 1994 instead of 1984. I had to explain why it was 1994 instead of 1984. March 2013, I submitted my application for permanent residency. In case you're wondering why I submitted the police clearance with the wrong year of birth. It's so expensive to get a police clearance in Morocco. When I asked a friend to get the police clearance for me in Morocco, he had to take a day off. Just fair for me to pay his day salary. Aside from that, I had to pay for the notary fee. I can't remember if it's FedEx or UPS that we use, but in total, I paid 500 Canadian dollars to get my police clearance in Morocco. So for me to get the year of birth fixed, I have to spend another $500, and it's so expensive. So I explained that to the immigration. I think the Canadian immigration accepted my reason because I got my permanent residency. But it took a long time. Back in 2013 and 2014, a lot of applicants were getting their permanent residency within 3 months, 5 months. But for me, it took more than a year. I applied in March 2013. My permanent residency was approved in August 2014. I was single. I understand if people were getting their permanent residency longer because they had family back home, they have kids, they have husbands or wives. Anyways, after I got my permanent residency status, that's when things between me and my husband got serious as well. So the next year, in 2015, we got married. A lot of people think that if you get married to a Canadian or to a foreigner, you get the citizenship right away. If I followed my status being a wife of my husband, I would have waited another year. During the time when I got my permanent resident status, you just have to wait for 3 years to apply for citizenship. Time that I was ready to apply for citizenship, Immigration Canada changed it to 4 years. It changed during the process, so I had to wait another year. Remember, I got my permanent residency in August 2014. So I was waiting for 4 years to be eligible. But you know what happened? The Citizenship and Immigration Canada changed it back to 3 years. Oh my God, it's just so much thing going on. So now I can apply for my citizenship status. I was very excited because finally, I can be a citizen of Canada. But it was not easy. March 26, 2018, I submitted my application. March 29th, I received a confirmation that my application was received. And I was like, yes, finally. Around May 2018, I received an email saying that my application was in process. And I was reading online and they said that it usually takes about a year to get your citizenship. This is it. But in July 2018, I received a letter from immigration that my application would be delayed. And I was like, not again! Applications from temporary resident visa to permanent residency to citizenship, they were all delayed. In October 2018, I was informed by a friend that she already got an invitation to take the citizenship exam. And I was like, what's happening to me then? And I kept waiting and waiting and waiting. And that friend of mine, just so you know, I helped her application. She actually went to my house because she knew that I already applied for citizenship. So I helped her. I looked at her papers and she submitted. She took an oath in February 2019. And to me, I was like, that's not fair because I was the one who helped her, but she got her citizenship first. And so I went back to the papers I submitted. So I waited and waited and waited. And around April 2019, I went to the Member of Parliament. To those who don't know, the MP is our representative in the Parliament of Canada. It's the same thing in the Philippines. The congresswoman or the congressman is your representative in the Congress. So here in Canada, I've learned that if you have immigration problem, you can go to Member of Parliament. When I went to the MP, I told them my assumption, what was the cause of the delay. And they said, I was probably right. Guys, this is another story. The real reason why my application was delayed again in my citizenship, it's because I have been using 4 different names. And before you judge me, hear my story first. In the Philippines, when you say middle name, it's your mother's maiden name. So for example, my mother's maiden name is Delphine. So when I applied here in Canada, when I put middle name, I put Raquel Delphine. Here in Canada, if you say middle name, it's the person's second name. It's not their mother's maiden name. So in my application, in my work visa, in my resident card, it says Raquel Delphine, which shows that Delphine is my second name. But it's not my second name. It is my mother's maiden name. And also in our passport, you can see that the middle name shows the mother's maiden name as well. Raquel Padilla became Raquel Delphine Padilla. So those are my two names. When I got married, I got excited to use my husband's last name. Then when I went to change my last name, which is for my driver's license, my BC ID or my British Columbia ID, they asked me to submit my immigration card, which was my PR card. So when I used my husband's last name, it became Raquel Delphine and my husband's last name. They wouldn't accept if I removed the Delphine because that was my immigration paper here in Canada. It's my third name, Raquel Delphine and my husband's last name. And I keep pushing that my name is only Raquel and my husband's last name. And I keep telling them, Raquel Delphine is not my real name. I'm only Raquel. So when I applied for jobs, when I do other things, I usually use my name without the Delphine. So that's my fourth name. So the immigration was confused when they saw that I had four names. So I had to explain to the immigration why I was using four names. Few days after I asked help from the member of parliament, the immigration sent me a letter asking me which was the correct last name or which was the correct name that I should be using for my citizenship. And they also gave me an option to submit a name change, which by the way cost $500, or just follow the name on my PR card. I followed the PR card. I told myself I should have done that in the first place to avoid the problems. But of course, I didn't know that I'm gonna have problem, right? After 1 month of telling them to use my name on the PR card, I got a test invite. That was in June, and I took my test in July 10, 2019. I took my test and I reviewed a lot, so I got a perfect score. And just so you know, if you look at one of my videos, it says I failed my Canadian citizenship, but that was not true because actually that was a prank to my husband and my sister. I got 20 out of 20 correct answers. And here's a surprise to me. After my citizenship test, I went to the interview. The interviewer told me that my name on their data is actually my husband's last name. All along, they were satisfied with my explanation why I was using 4 different names. So I don't have to fix my last name anymore. I don't have to fix and pay for the name change. So anyways, that was it. And today, August 8, 2019, I received an invitation to attend the ceremony for the oath taking. So that's it, guys. That's it. It's a long journey for me and lots of delays. But finally, I will be taking an oath to be a Canadian citizen. I'm so happy right now because finally, everything that I have gone through, everything that I have worked for, everything is going to pay off. Sorry guys for the long story, but I want to make sure that I'm not missing anything because this has been a lot for me. This has been really stressful for me for the past few years because I had to face a lot of problems to get this citizenship. And to summarize everything, here is the timeline of my application since I arrived here in Canada up to the citizenship ceremony. End this video now, and I would like to say thank you to everyone who's watching this video till the end. For those of you who are waiting for your visa, for your residency, or your citizenship. Sometimes waiting is so painful. Always remember, patience is a virtue. You can feel the success if you have waited long enough. By the way, for those who are going to take Canadian citizenship test, I'm going to make a video on how I got a perfect score on my citizenship exam. So watch out for that. Anyways, thank you so much guys for watching. I'll see you again on my next vlog. Bye! Bye bye!